Rightio you lot, look what we got on the bench. It's the FG Marder, the 4-wheel drive one, the one that I've got. Oh man, it's sat, I've had this for bloody ages now, and it's sat on the bench, just sitting there ever since I unboxed it that day a couple of weeks ago, or a week or so ago, whenever it was. Yeah, so we need to get to it, don't we? We need to find out what the problem is with it, why it doesn't run. Today's a perfect day for that, because it's absolutely pissing it down outside. I mean, it's pretty, it's raining quite a lot out there, so I thought to myself, let's go and do something else. As usual, I've got plenty of things I should be doing other than this, more important things, but you know how it goes. I can't be bothered to do them things, and I can't really be bothered to do that, to be honest, but that's something that needs to be done because it's just sitting there doing nothing. So let's have a look at it and see if we can find out why. I think I already know why. It could be the plug, and I'm hoping it is the plug, but we won't know if it's the plug or not. I haven't got a spare plug, but I will tell you a little secret. I took the plug out, must be last week now. I took the plug out of it just to see. I was walking past, come to get some carrots, and I was walking past it. I thought I'm going to quickly check that, and the plug's lovely. It's got a nice big fat blue spark on it, but that doesn't mean that it's not broken up inside. So we'll check it and I'll tell you why. Right, so I'll tell you why. Just because the plug itself has got a nice big fat blue spark doesn't necessarily mean that the plug isn't broken. That's because they can break up. They break up inside, and they'll be intermittent. They'll work intermittently, so they'll be working fine. And with a little bit of vibration, they won't work. They'll lose connection inside because they've broken up on the inside there. And it won't work. And then a bit more vibration, and it'll make another connection, and it'll work. It's just because they, as I keep saying, they've broken up on the inside there. So you put it on the side, no vibrations. You do this. This is how you test it. You put it somewhere metal. Don't put it on a plastic because it won't ground. You want it to be somewhere metal. So it's touching up against the exhaust because the exhaust is obviously attached to the head. Let's turn it around so we can actually see it. The exhaust is obviously attached to the head, which is obviously grounded. So that is perfect. That's what we want. So if we put that on there, I might have to jam it in there like that, maybe. I'll jam it against there. Right. So we're touching the exhaust now. Hopefully we can see. Are we zoomed in enough? I reckon we must be. I reckon that's enough. So you'll see, hopefully, that we've got. Well, hopefully, I might be. We haven't, but we have. We've got a nice big blue spark the other day when I checked it. So if you keep watching that, there you'll see. Ready? Oh no! Oh, there is. Nice big blue spark. And it's fairly consistent. You'd think that would run, but our problem is it does run, but intermittently. It goes on and off. Now in my experience, that's probably not going to be this plug. That will be the on and off, the kill switch, the on and off switch, because I reckon, judging by the holes, this is just me doing my little. I think some of you think that I'm a little bit of a. I like to go on and on and on, and you lot Americans call it procrastinating, didn't you? No, I don't do that, but I only do it for you lot. I talk about stuff and I go on about stuff for you lot. So you've got something to listen to, and you know what I'm thinking. But because there's holes in here, lead me to believe there was a kill switch. You know, a remote kill switch on the transmitter, as everyone goes on about on these all the time. One of these was on it, which means some of them you plug directly in and they're still plugs, no soldering required. You just plug them all in, happy days. Other ones, you have to solder. You have to cut the wires on your ignition and you have to solder them together. That may be the case. And the reason I believe such a thing, the pull start has been turned around. Normally the pull start is that way round. This one is that way. So I reckon all this has been off. A kill switch has been added in the past and it's been taken off again. And when it's been put back together, the wires aren't put back together properly, which is why we've got a bad connection. That's what I think. So the only one way to find out is take it apart. So let's go and we need a screwdriver, We don't need to take the pull start off. We just need the screwdriver to get the screws out. There's one down there as well. That's a bloody nut, that one. We might have to take the engine out. I hope we haven't got to take it. I think we might have to take the blooming bloody engine out. We'll have a look, we'll see. Now, I'm hoping if I get this off, we might be able to get the two lower nuts without taking the engine out, because I just can't be bothered with it. I just don't want to. I just don't want to take the engine out. Obviously, if I have to, I have to, but I don't want to. It's just something I'm not interested in at the moment. But we'll find out. We'll take out these screws. This has definitely been played with a lot in the past. Someone's done a lot of bodging around with it, you know. Someone's done a lot of messing around with it. I reckon this one probably had a fair few little upgraded. Oh, Dave didn't take it all the way off. I'll just do that. I reckon it had some upgraded parts on it, bits and bobs, and then someone's taken them off and put it back to nearly standard. And that's where we are, and I don't think they've done a particularly good job at doing it. But, you know, it is what it is. So let's get our socket set. We're going to need a bit of a socket set for this one. Let's move some stuff out of the way. We've got transmitters all over the place, and you don't even want to see the other bench. The other bench is absolutely covered in engine parts. I've got several Nitro engines in bits on the other bench, and I'm at a bit of a dead end because I haven't got the parts for them to you know, change them, rebuild them, sorry, not change them, to rebuild them. And the new engines are a bloody fortune, an absolute ridiculous fortune. So I've left them in bits for now because I just can't be bothered with them. At some point I'm going to have to, well, when I say I can't be bothered, I just mean like I lost interest at that time, and I'm going to have to get back to them at some point. Now I do need another parts tray, but parts trays really. I get another little dish. Really, I need to get another little all my parts trays. No, I ain't got any parts trays there. Oh, come on, Johnny boy. What are you doing? You're letting me down, man. Alright. Screws are going to go precariously on the side. You probably can't see where I've just put it. It's probably just out of shot. But the screws are going to go rather precariously on the side of the bench. So one false move, one wrong move, and they're going to be all over the place. But that's all right. That's all right. It's just life, really. It's just life. That is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. It is just life. And sometimes you just have to go with life, because life is great. You know? I don't know. Can you hear the rain out there? Yeah, it's half raining, you lot. It's half bloody raining. But we like that. Do we like that? I don't think we do. Do we like that? I'm not sure. You're not convincing me really that we like it. I mean, I thought we might like it, but something's telling me that we probably don't. I'm going to have to take this wheel off. Does that fit on there? No. That don't fit on there. What else we got here? Does that fit on there? No, that doesn't fit on there either. Does that fit on there? Oh, that fits on there. Hey, happy days. Right, we'll get this wheel off. And we're about to, that might come in handy, because then we're about to stick it underneath and use it as like a little bit of an axle stand. Happy days. I don't think I've ever been happier. Have I ever been happier? I don't know. I really don't know. You coming off, or are you staying on there? Come on. What the bloody hell's going on with this thing? Get off of there, you. There we go. God. Took its time. It's off. Put that under there. There we go, that's worked out quite well. We'll stick that washer back on there, and then we'll put that nut back on there. Right. Nope. What size are these going to be? Nope. Let's try a 8 mil. Is it going to be 8 mil? I bet they're going to be 10. Oh, they're 8. Holy moly. 8 millimetrics, eh? Well, that one's loose. Is that a nut or is that a bolt? Oh, it's a nut on a stud. It's a nut on a stud. Right. Does that mean I ain't going to be able to get that one, am I? You bastard! You bloody... Well, that's just great. That's just absolutely great. I've never been so happy in all my life. Absolutely perfect. Well, I'm going to have to, at the very least, I'm going to have to loosen the screws which hold this engine in, just so I can move the engine up enough to clear this little lip on here. And then it's funny that they were Phillips screws. I mean, that's no good. I mean, you'd expect them to be bolts so that you can tighten them up tight. You can't really tighten Phillips screws. I mean, they always round off on the head, you know what I mean. But I don't know, maybe we'll have a look here and see what's going on, and maybe we'll be able to get that up far enough. All I've got to do is get it up enough so that I can get... Yes, Johnny boy, yes, look at that. My tripod's seen better days, it's about to fall over. We're on. So now I can undo this nut on a stud. And I've just dropped it, but that's alright, maybe we won't put it back on again, that way I haven't got to worry about it next time. What the bloody is going on with that? Now we should be able to get this off, and then we can have a look and see what's going on in the world of old Johnny boy. Oh, maybe I was wrong. The switch is alright, look. Could be the coil. It could be anything. It could just be the plug. That don't sound very good, does it? It could just be the plug. But I haven't got a spare one to put in it. You see? You see, Johnny boy. No. Well, I wanted to check all this anyway, just to make sure this was all alright, because I did have an inkling that someone had taken it apart and Jolly Rogered it, do you know what I mean? Now, while we're here, we'll check the gap. The gap seems alright. Maybe it's a little bit big, actually, that gap. We could always make that, so I'll show you. The gap between that there and the magnet on the flywheel, that's a magnet there, there's two of them. Come on. Those two magnets there, they go around there like that, and they make contact with those two. There's one there and one there, or they don't make contact, but they, now, the gap, it will need to be a certain amount of foul, depending on whatever the engine says. I haven't got any kind of instruction manual for this engine, nor do I want one. So, usually on these engines, these type of engines, they're just strimmer engines, that's all they are. I just guess. I think that was slightly big. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, put it all back together, and then I might nick a plug out of something else. I've got a strimmer, I've got a couple of other Petrol RC cars. I'll nick a plug out of one, see if they're the same plug. If they're the same plug, I'll put it in here and see if it works. And I know some of you are going to say, what I normally think when I watch videos like this. Why didn't you just take a plug out the other one and try it in that before taking it apart? As I said, I wanted to take that apart anyway, just to have a look in there to see, because I had an inkling that someone had put one of those dodgy kill switches on there, and I wanted to see what the wiring was like. It turns out they haven't, and the wiring's fine. But I thought they might have done. So now I've checked it, I've got peace of mind, I know what it's like inside there, I'm happy. Simple as that. So that's the reason why I didn't just try the other plug. I wanted to look in there anyway, so I was going to take that apart and look in there whether it ran well or not. So anyway, going to put it back together, and then we'll join back up again once I get another plug. What we can do while I'm here is we can get the old multimeter and we can check this switch to make sure that it's fine and dandy, if you know what I mean. Now, just take these. Oh, it's bloody nippy today, I tell you. We take these off here. Now, this is our switch, and we can just take these little plugs off. In fact, we don't even need to take the plugs off, we can do it like that. Put that one on there. Now, that's good. This is in the running position, obviously, because it's not a rocker switch, it's just a push switch. So when we push it in, we should lose continuity. We don't. Alright, well, the switch is a little bit funny. Alright, well, the switch isn't quite working it very well. That might be the problem then. Maybe the switch is the problem. Let's take the switch off. It's a little bit dirty. I haven't got any contact cleaner left. I ran out ages ago. Yeah, the contacts are a little bit... That might be one of the reasons why then. Perhaps it is the switch and that's not the plug. Look. It's quite dirty around those contacts. So I'm going to get a little brush, clean them up, and we'll go from there. Right, I haven't got any contact cleaner left. I need to buy some more, so I'm going to use a little toothbrush, and I'm going to use some... What is this? Oh, it's engine degreaser. I'm going to use some engine degreaser. It was just the first tin I saw on the shelf. I took it off and that was happened to be engine degreaser. Well, that's great. Absolutely great. So I spray a little bit of engine degreaser on our switch. And degrease it. And my golly gosh, is it cold. And we put a little bit of, brush it a little bit, look. Make sure it's clean. It could be that the switch has had it on the inside, but with the contacts being that dirty, slightly corroded. If I had some contact cleaner, I could put it on there, but I haven't got any. I might stick a little bit of dielectric grease on. Let's get one of these old t-shirts. I've been going through my clothes drawers. I've got too many t-shirts, so I've thrown a few out here. And that's looking a lot cleaner now. Look at that. That is absolutely mint. Oh, man, I couldn't ask for better. I'm so happy with that. Right. Oh, bloody... That's great, man. That's great. Absolutely great. Oh, mate. Jesus. Right, let's get a little bit of dielectric grease. What we got here? This is an old... Made in England. I go for all the stuff that's made in England now. Because it's... Well, I like to try and support the country, really. So... we stick that one in there. And then if we put that one in there, we've got a reading, but we've got no noise. Interesting. should get the same reading if we turn the switch around the other way. Right, there we go. That switch is now working. Well, it was working in the first place, but the contacts are clean. Turn that off. Get rid of that. We can stick a little bit of, I haven't got any, I could put a little bit of engine degreaser on here maybe and give these a bit of a clean up. We'll stick a little bit of dielectric grease on the end of these. We'll use this little screwdriver here to get a little bit on it, and we'll just smear a little bit on there. Smear a little bit on there, and what that does, a little bit of dielectric grease. This grease conducts electricity, you see, but it also prevents corrosion. Some people agree, some people don't. If you don't agree, I don't care, but it's what happens. And you know, you meant to put it, it's a good idea to put it on the battery terminals on your real car, you know. Stops them corroding, you know. A lot of people don't bother, but I never used to bother until I had a battery what corroded badly, and the terminals corroded off once. I was driving around, and all of a sudden, boom, gone. I had to look at my battery, and the post had corroded so much, it had fallen off, it had gone, and the wire was flapping around, and the post just corroded off. And ever since then, I've decided to put dielectric grease on the posts when I connect the batteries, and I've never had any of them corrode. They stop. That's what it's for. It stops corrosion. You know, conducts electric, but you don't have to. But yeah, it's a good idea to do it. Anyway, let's put that. Oh bloody! Put that back. Right. So now we've got the switch back. That might have fixed our problem. You know, it might have just been a dodgy connection on there. Hopefully that was what the problem was, but anyway, let's put this back. I don't know where that nut's gone that I lost, but I think I'll leave that one out. It's around here somewhere. If I find it, I promise I'll put it back. I do promise. I promise. Right. That goes there. I'm probably going to have to get our pull start to line up again now. Switch should go, oops, that switch should go nicely in there like that. Come on. Hang on. Got to move our engine up, haven't we, a little bit. That's it, we're on. We're on. There we go. Happy days. Right, screws back in. And then I won't even bother changing the plug over, because if I change the plug over, we won't know whether it's a different plug. Well, we will know, because I can put the other plug back in. I can put this plug back in again. But what I mean is, I'm Jesus Christ. Sometimes I make things prolonged, don't I? Long it out. But no, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna try and start it up and see if it'll run with the greased switch before. What have I done with my socket? Socket? Well, there it is. With the switch before I do anything else. Oh no! Oh, there it is. Thought I lost the other nut then. And if it's no better, I'll go nick a plug off somewhere. This ratchet's had it because I lent it to someone, and they put too much pressure on it and broke all the ball bearings inside. So now it randomly gives way and it don't really ratchet. And now and again, you get your knuckles if you're not careful. You've got to be careful. Never lend anything to anybody. Never ever lend anything to anybody. Especially tools. Don't lend tools out. People say, oh, can I borrow this? Can I? No. Oh, go on. I'd lend it. I'd lend you. No. Not having it. Do you pay for it? No. Will you pay for it if you break it? Probably not. Will you own up to it if you break it? Probably not. Alright. Put that one in. Right. Oh, I've got to put my little ends back on the multimeter. I'll do that probably never. Right. The only one missing is that nut. I'll never find that and put that back on, so we don't need to worry about that. Let's do up the engine mounts while we think about that. Probably the mesh is probably going to be all wrong now, but that's all right. I don't even know if it was all right to start with, to be honest, because I never got to drive it, did I? I haven't driven this car yet. Literally got it, unboxed it, and this is where we are. It never ran out of the box. So hopefully now it will run. Oops. Put this wheel back on. Hopefully now it will run. There. That's it. I'm quite excited to give this a run, to be honest. 4-wheel drive. You can't even see what I'm doing, can you? Oh, I'm so sorry. My apologies. I'm getting quite clumsy with the old camera, aren't I, recently? I've noticed that. When I've been editing the videos recently, I've noticed I'm getting quite clumsy with the old camera. I don't mean to. I get in my own little world, and what do? I've forgotten. Oh yeah, I get in my own little world. I'll put these on yet, haven't I? And I'm sort of working away, talking to you lot, and I don't even realise. Like the other day, I think I left it zoomed in for about bloody 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, and you couldn't see nothing, could you? Oh man, I thought, well, I could cut that out, but then you'll miss a bit, and you'll be thinking, oh, what happened there? So I left it in. But you was probably thinking, what's going on here? Why are we looking at a bloody radio box and he's doing stuff and just talking, and all we're looking at is a bloody zoomed in radio box? Do you know what I mean? And I thought, bloody hell, I'm getting clumsy. To be honest, I'm getting quite clumsy in general life, but I think that's just, I don't know what that is. I don't know. Perhaps I've got something wrong with me. I don't know. We'll see. Right. Do you know what I do need? I need a shell for this. Trouble is, the 4-wheel. I can't feel my hands. Can't feel them. I can't feel my hands when it's bloody warm, let alone when it's cold. God, mate, I tell you. I need. What do I need? I don't know. I can't remember now. What was I saying? I forgot what I bloody well was saying now. Oh, a shell. I need a shell, yeah. The 2-wheel drive shells don't fit these 4-wheel drive Marders because they're different. And I can't find a 4-wheel drive shell anywhere. So I need to try and locate one. Let's get this on the ground and see if we can fire it up. Welcome to the ground. Oh, go that way. Yeah. Welcome to the ground, you lot. I hope you like it here. It's rather nice on the ground. Right, got a battery in it, not the best battery, but we've got a battery. We need to go that way. We'll prime it a little bit. That's it, all the air bubbles are gone. What's the time? Oh, right. Let's see what we've got. Alright. Well, seems to be running, obviously. So far, it's looking good. So far, touch wood. At the moment, it's looking good. I'll give it a rev. That's where it went wrong before, wasn't it? Started cutting out on tick over, and then when I revved it, that was it. Gone now, gone completely. Nothing. Could be that coil, you know, but it could be the plug. So we've still got the problem. I'm just going to go and see if I can steal a plug, and then we'll put a different plug in it and see if that fixes that problem. Right. Nick the plug out of another car, and it runs. I know that car runs, and I know it runs well. So let's see. I'm hoping it's this plug because it means I haven't got to go and buy another coil or anything like that. Because that's the next thing. I'm not putting that in there already, you cock. Because that's the next thing. It'd be the coil. If it is that. So you just got to run. And that ain't the case. Because we don't want that. We don't want that at all. That will be a bloody nuisance. There's that nut, look, I'll put that on later. Probably not ever. Happy days. Let's test the switch. Yes. I think that is great. Now, there we go. Let that be a little bit of a lesson for you lot. I was hoping it was going to be the plug. As I say, you're probably thinking, you're just saying that. I wanted to take that apart anyway, that side cover, because it was on my mind a little bit. Because I see the holes in there. I was thinking to myself, someone's had one of them dodgy kill switches on it probably. But I'm pleased I took it apart anyway, because I managed to find those dodgy connections on that switch. And we cleaned them up, put dielectric grease on, And I know that the coil, I know the magneto, I know everything in there is fine and dandy. So I know that's all good. The problem is the plug. Now, let that be a little bit of a lesson to some of you lot. Hopefully it will be. I always say, start with the simple things first. Don't go complicated. I see people all the time, they go complicated things. Start taking things apart and they miss the oversights, you know, the very simple things. Spark plugs. They break up all the time. They can give a consistently blue spark when you're testing them, but when you put them in, they don't. It's because of the vibrations and the resistance and all that, because they're actually being used. So many different things, reasons why. Some of them I don't even know. But that's the way it goes. So if you've got similar symptoms on any of your engines that are petrol, it might run, it might keep cutting out, it might run again and then it stops. Don't go complicated. Simply change the spark plug. For it doesn't even have to go and buy a new one. You can change it from a different one. As long as it's the same number or a similar number. Doesn't matter if it's a different heat. As long as it's the same number on it, roughly, because then it'll be the same size. You don't want it being too long, because you'll end up hitting the piston. If it's too short, it won't work properly. And obviously, if it's too fat, it just won't go in. What a cock. So, yeah, there we go. I'm going to go and buy some more plugs. I usually keep a load of them spare in the drawer, but I've used them all up recently because I've been doing quite a lot of strimmers and head strimmer repairs, and they've all needed new plugs. So I've used all my spare plugs up. And all these little engines, well, not all of them, but most of these little engines on strimmers, head strimmers, chainsaws, and obviously in RC cars like this, they use these NGKs, these CMR 7Hs, or it might be a 6H, depending on what heat they run. Or if it's a Champion, it'll be different, but for NGK, that's what they are. They seem to all use that very similar plug. So that's why I normally keep a stock of them in the drawer. But there we go. So we've got a four-wheel drive FG Marder now that appears to run quite well. Still need to give it a proper test drive, but it's still raining hard outside, so I won't be doing that anytime soon. I was going to go out this morning, but it was frosty, and I thought, nah, I'll give it a miss. I didn't feel like it this morning. So anyway, I'll see you lot on the next one. Take care, and enjoy life. Treat people how you would like to be treated, and we should have a nice happy life. Don't try to, if you see someone that is doing something and you don't quite like it and they're not quite like you, don't just accept them for who they are, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? Don't have to be a crazy world all the time, does it, eh? I'll see you later on. Take care, you lot. All the best. Spark plugs. Crazy little things, aren't they? When you think what they do. Thousands and thousands of volts goes through these. Mad, absolutely mad.